Welcome to Ask For It, powered by High Performa, the show dedicated to helping sales professionals unlock their full potential and consistently outperform the competition. In sales, we're taught to ask for the deal, ask for the meeting, ask for the close. But when it comes to our own careers, too many of us just sit back and wait. Well, here's the truth. If you don't ask for it, you're not going to get it. And this is whether it's a promotion, a bigger territory, or more leadership opportunities. You have to be proactive. I'm Ami Trivedi, the founder of High Performa and an ex-Salesforce seller. In this episode, I'm going to break down exactly how to take control of your career growth and in the process, build a strong personal brand that can open even more doors. So let's get started. So my first tip today is that advancement requires asking, and it's not just about your performance. So many salespeople think that if they just hit their numbers, they're going to get promoted. Unfortunately, the reality is that leadership isn't always watching as closely as you think. You really need to vocalize your ambitions, make your goals known, and then ask for the next step. For example, when I first started my career at Salesforce, I got promoted every single year, and everyone I was working with knew that I was on a fast promotion track. When I first started onboarding, I quickly got the lay of the land and understood where I want to be. In the corporate world, and it depends on the company as well, but at my company, you couldn't skip levels and you have to follow the process of promotion. And so if you're starting a new company, understand what that promotion path is, what the different positions and levels are, and then make a decision on where you want to go. So for me, I didn't choose the next level up as my goal. I actually chose 3 levels up. And I immediately voiced that to my manager. I told her, I said, "Hi, I would love to get to this level, and how do I get there?" And to be completely fair to her, she said, "I am putting the cart before the horse. It's only a month into a brand new job and nobody even knows me." But the important thing is that she is now aware that I want to move up fast. And she's also aware that I'm looking to her to support me in that. If you don't voice that you want to be promoted, then even if you're the top seller or anything in your field, it doesn't mean that you're going to get promoted. Honestly, chances are that someone on your team who might be doing an average job will get promoted before you. You need to stay top of mind and position yourself as the next on your team to be promoted. And show that you need to keep growing to thrive. You need to look and act like a superstar. The book Radical Candor by Kim Scott is a great way to explain the difference between a rock star and a superstar. Kim explains that a rock star is amazing in their role, but a superstar is ambitious and strives for growth. You need to position yourself as a superstar. And here's how you can do it. So first of all, your work does need to back you, okay? Like I said, people with a mediocre job could get promoted, but to be a superstar, you do have to show something for your work. You can't be completely horrible in your job, but you also don't have to be the best in your job, all right? So for sales, you can't be missing your targets and then ask for a promotion. Your work won't be able to speak for itself, but it has to be good enough that when you're speaking up on behalf of the job that you're doing, you have to be able to show everyone that proof that you are doing good and you're the person for the next level. So in your one-on-ones with your manager, bring up your goal of getting to level 3, for example, and create a plan with them on how you can get there. Now, don't just stop at your manager. You do need to build a network of influence and then tell them what your goals are. I would recommend that you schedule one-on-ones with several leaders that you work with, and also some that you don't. You never know where in the company that you may end up going, and you never know who knows who. Your goal should be to spread your personal brand so wide so that when you're not in the room, the people in the room will talk about you. Your goal should be for your brand to transcend. So go schedule calls with leaders. Do the skip levels. But I would tell you to make sure to have an agenda and a purpose for the call. So for the listeners who may not know the term skip level, I've been using that a lot here. It refers to a manager or leader above your manager or leader. And the best way to get a skip level is to ask your current leader if they can make a soft intro to you. You still want to respect like the corporate ways and the ladders and who's above who. You don't want to start feeling like you're going above anyone's head because that would just leave a bad taste. And especially if you need all these people to support you in that promotion track. So always reach out to your manager, ask for a soft intro, or just say like, hey, can I just reach out? And this is also helpful for you because that way, when you reach out to that skip level, you can say, hi, my manager suggested I should reach out to you. I would love to get 25 minutes of your time to introduce myself and learn more about your leadership style. When you reach out to the skip level, now you can say that my manager suggested I should reach out to you. Ask them for 25 minutes of their time to introduce yourself and to learn more about their leadership style, for example, but make your ask specific to what that person does. So if they're leaders, you can say, I want to learn more about your leadership style or learn more about your team. If it's in another industry, do something that's more specific to that, just so it doesn't sound like a generic cold email, for example. All right, now your internal goal here is to talk about how you want to get promoted and how you want to move to the next level. But you cannot lead with that, and you need to be very careful on how you word it. You don't want to come across as arrogant and pushy. You want to come across as a go-getter. People don't want to help you if you just say, this is where I want to be. How do I do it? It's important that you frame it in a way that you're asking them for advice. Always remember, people love to talk about themselves. Ask the leaders you're on a one-on-one with, what advice do you have for me to be successful in my role? How did you get to your current role? Express interest in what they do. You can even say something along the lines of, my long-term goal is to become a leader. When did you realize that you wanted to move into leadership? And then ask questions about the role you want to get into. Let's call the desired role level 3 just because I've been using that term here. So you can ask, what expectations do you have for folks on your team that are at a level 3? How do you define success for a level 3? And then this is where you build it into your conversation that you want to get to level 3. You can tell them now that you're currently level 1, but you want to get to level 3 as soon as you can and be the best in that role as possible. And then that kind of wraps up the conversation to like why you're asking those questions, why you're so inquisitive. And it really shows how proactive you are as well to meet all these people and to understand what their styles are so that when you do get to level 3, you're just going to be a superstar. So now that you wove it seamlessly into the conversation, your skip level will see you as someone who wants to grow fast and see the work ethic behind it. And so do this across several leaders, and soon your personal brand will start to transcend itself. All right, tip number 2, build a visible personal brand inside and outside your company. Advancing your career isn't just about internal conversations. It's also about how you position yourself within the industry. So if leadership inside your company can see you as an authority and that peers look up to you, your path to promotion will become much more smoother and expected. Let's start with internally. Become the go-to person on your team. So offer to mentor newer reps, lead training sessions, or share insights in team meetings. The more you contribute, the more you'll be seen as a leader, even before you officially get that title. Externally, build your personal brand on LinkedIn or in your community. So you can share insights about sales, industry trends, and lessons learned. The more visible you are, the more opportunities will come your way, whether that's a promotion, a speaking engagement, or even a recruiter that's reaching out to you with an offer that you can leverage. For example, in one of my roles, I used to help train the new members on our team. I proactively took on the role without anyone actually asking me to do it. I essentially saw a gap in training, and a lot of the new hires were asking me for help on the side, and so I decided to just create a more structured approach to it. I held weekly training sessions with different topics about our roles, and all the new hires joined, and even some seasoned reps joined for refresher sessions. It became very successful, and at one point, a lot of the management started to notice, and I was established as a go-to person. So I was able to make an impact on my team, and I was also able to help build my own personal brand as someone who's willing to help others out. All right, one important thing here is while I'm saying about all these different ways to build your brand, don't do it if your only goal is to look good to management. Really try and find something that you truly enjoy doing because authenticity matters. People can see through fakeness. So choose something that you actually like doing, and the more you like it, the better you're going to be in it, right? So for me, I actually truly enjoy coaching, obviously now that I made a career out of it as well. So I didn't mind the extra hours I put into it because when I could see the impact I made on a team member and see them thrive and be successful salespeople, I felt satisfied and fulfilled. I would recommend here that you should assess your skill set, do a little bit of an audit, look at your day to day, and see where in your skills or what you're doing in your tasks that you could potentially take a step further and then become a leader in that skill. Perhaps you enjoy forecasting and know you're good at it. Then you could ask your manager if you could take that on for your team. Think of ways you can make an impact with authenticity, and I promise you the results will show. So that's for the internal. For external, do something larger in your community. So, for example, for myself, I like to give my time back to my alma mater. I did both my master's degrees at Smith School of Business at Queen's University, and one of the programs I did was a Master of International Business. And the program leaders and professors had such a positive impact on me that I've always wanted to give back in some way. Now I participate every year as either a keynote speaker or I lead a round table for the current students in the program. And even beyond that, I'm always making myself available to current students so that they can reach out to me and learn more about my career path, and I can try and see how I can share my network or support them in any way. And again, this is something I truly enjoy doing, and I'm also able to leverage it for my career. After I do a speaking event, I will post it on LinkedIn. And that way, my internal work network can see the contributions I'm also doing outside of work. And then that just keeps feeding into my personal brand as a leader. Now, tip number 3, build a brag book and identify your board of directors. The first 2 tips that I mentioned earlier are very external facing, but this last tip is something that you should be doing on your own to ensure that you're first documenting your wins and accomplishments, and second, identifying people that you can tap into to ensure that you're on track for your career goals. Let me unpack that a little bit. And let's start with the brag book. And honestly, this is exactly as it sounds. It doesn't have to be complicated or a specific template. In the beginning, when I first started doing this, I just opened a Word doc, labeled it brag book. And every time someone recognized me for something or called me out, I would write it down. I would timestamp it and I'd put it in that Word doc. Even the smallest thing, like a Slack message saying, "Wow, you did amazing on that sale today, you rock." Quote it, write down who said it and say when, and just put that in the Word doc. It can be messy, it's okay. This document is for your eyes only, so don't even worry how disorganized it is. Even though it's for your eyes only, it will come handy in 2 ways. First, when you're having a promotion discussion with your manager, you can refer back to this doc and pull out information and recognition that's relevant. I would put it into an organized doc like those pieces and then show that to your manager and say, "Hey, I just documented a few wins that I've had and just times where people recognize me for having an impact, and I'd like to show you." But make sure you put that in a separate document. Like you don't have to show them everything, right? Like make sure it's very curated for what that conversation you're having is. Second, this brag book will serve as a reminder to yourself about how amazing you are. In sales, the highs are high and the lows are really low. And after you win a large deal, everyone celebrates you, right? And you feel like $1,000,000. But the next day, it's back to business and everyone's asking you how your other deals are going and what's next. And sometimes it can feel like that big deal you won yesterday just never happened. And it's very easy to forget your wins, but write them down and set time for yourself to review it. So perhaps you put a reminder every month or quarter to review them. I honestly wouldn't recommend waiting longer than a quarter because you should be constantly reminding yourself of the great things you do to keep your confidence high. And that way you keep reminding and telling yourself that I am a high performer. I am a top performer. And the more you say it, the more you embody that, and the more it will reflect in your everyday. Having a brag book is one piece of the puzzle here. The second part is having a board of directors. All right, so every CEO has one. And so, like, why shouldn't you? Identify 3 to 5 people in different aspects of your life and name them as your board. You don't have to actually tell them you're on your board. That's just for yourself to keep in mind and make you have that badass I'm a CEO feeling. For example, have someone from your job, someone in your personal life, send someone who mentors you that's from a completely different field. And leverage these people when you're making a decision or have some sort of uncertainty. So let's say you have a chance to apply to 2 new positions and you're not sure which path to choose. Schedule time with each person individually on your board and get their advice. Then compile your advice and make your decision. By having people from different backgrounds, you'll get different perspectives and ideas. So that's why I said have someone from your personal life, someone from your business life, and someone from a different field than you. This will help broaden your thinking and keep you from being pigeonholed into a certain path. It's actually interesting the way I thought about this whole board of directors. I know it's a common idea as well, but for me, it always reminds me of like research when a researcher puts out an article. There's a peer review process behind it before it can actually be put in a journal. And in that peer review process, they get several thought leaders in the industry to read your paper, but they also send it to someone completely out of the field. And that always stuck with me because it shows that enough eyes are looking at this article that is somebody even externally who has no idea what's going on within that field can read it and spot something off. It gives that different perspective because sometimes when you're in your industry and everyone's so similar to you, you're all thinking the same way. And that can be limiting as well. You want to try and broaden your mind and your ideas. And the best way to do that is to tap into people who aren't living your day to day. All right, so to wrap up today's episode, remember this key takeaway. If you don't ask for it, you won't get it. And whether it's a promotion, a bigger role, or even just a recognition you deserve, you have to be proactive in your career journey. Treat it like a sale. Number 1, speak up for your advancement. Vocalize your ambitions and don't wait for leadership to notice you. You need to be clear about your goals and then build a network of support to help you get there. Number 2, build your personal brand. And this needs to be both inside and outside of the company you work for. Try and contribute, mentor, and become visible as a thought leader in your industry. This will really position you as a go-to person for bigger opportunities. And number 3, create a brag book and get a board of directors. Document your wins, track your progress, and gather a network of mentors who can keep you on track and offer guidance along the way. Remember, career growth isn't just about performing well. It's about making sure others see your value and help you get to the next level. Well, thank you for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe, and I hope you're ready to take charge of your career growth. Be sure to apply these strategies, and I'll catch you in the next episode. Right, bye! If you found this episode valuable, please make sure to subscribe, rate, and review so more sellers like you can discover the show. And if you're serious about taking your sales game to the next level, check out thehighperforma.com for training and coaching designed to help you win more deals and future-proof your success. I'll see you next time. Until then, keep pushing, keep improving, and keep closing. And don't forget to ask for it.